Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, we're really excited about this one.
Right. Today we're diving headfirst into the world of unsolved mysteries. We're talking about cases that have baffled investigators, historians, and armchair detectives, like ourselves, for years.
Absolutely. And, these aren't just intriguing stories. I think they offer a really unique window into the human need to make sense of the world around us, even when, well, sometimes especially when, the pieces don't quite fit.
Exactly. So, to guide us through these twists and turns, we have with us expert speaker's description credentials.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I've been poring over your notes, and I have to say, you've picked some real humdingers for today.
Well, I try. Like you said, we're fascinated by these unsolved mysteries, so I thought, why not pick two cases from different eras that really highlight the enduring power of the unknown?
I love it. So let's talk about those cases. You mentioned Unsolved Mysteries Revisited in your notes,
Oh, yeah.
which got us thinking, what about exploring one historical case alongside a more recent one, just to mix things up?
I like the way you think. That's a great way to add another layer to our dive.
Yeah.
Comparing and contrasting how these mysteries has captivated the public imagination despite the differences in time and context. It's really intriguing.
Right. Okay, so with that in mind, let's start with, it wouldn't be a show about unsolved mysteries without mentioning Amelia Earhart.
Ah, Amelia Earhart, a name practically synonymous with vanished into thin air.
It's 1937. She's attempting this groundbreaking flight around the world, and then silence, just gone. What is it about this case that you think continues to fascinate us even after all these years?
Well, it's the perfect storm of mystery, isn't it? You have Amelia Earhart, this pioneering woman, pushing boundaries in a field completely dominated by men at the time.
Absolutely. She was a trailblazer for sure.
Then you layer on this daring flight, the vastness of the Pacific Ocean, exotic locations, whispers of government cover-ups, conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories galore. I mean, come on, it's like a real-life adventure story gone wrong. People love that stuff.
Exactly. And then you add the fact that there have been these tantalizing bits of evidence uncovered over the years, but nothing concrete enough to definitively solve the case. It's the perfect recipe for endless speculation.
So let's dig into some of those theories. What are some of the most prevalent ones surrounding her disappearance?
Well, the most straightforward theory is that Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan, simply ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific Ocean.
Which, given the technology at the time, that's not that far-fetched.
Right. It was a risky endeavor. And then there are those who suggest she might have landed on a remote island, perhaps Nikomororo, where some artifacts have been found, and maybe even captured by the Japanese.
Oh, right. I remember reading about that. There was that whole theory about her being held prisoner by the Japanese.
Right, fueled in part by the fact that Japan and the United States were on a collision course towards World War II.
Right, right. So those theories, while out there, they kind of follow a somewhat logical path. But then there are those that are just,
A
well,
little more out there.
just a tad. Like the theory that she assumed a new identity, maybe got tired of the fame, and just decided to disappear.
Now, that's a Hollywood ending.
Hmm.
I have to admit, though, it's a bit far-fetched. But hey, stranger things have happened.
I guess you're right. You never know. Okay, so from a vanished aviator to something completely different, let's move on to the very strange case of the Circleville letters.
Oh, this one is truly bizarre and more than a little creepy.
Okay, so for our listeners who might not be familiar with this case, set the stage for us. What are the Circleville letters and what makes them so unnerving?
Imagine this. It's 1976, a small town in Ohio called, you guessed it, Circleville.
Oh.
And suddenly people start receiving these anonymous letters, often handwritten, filled with threats, accusations of affairs, and just general nastiness.
Oh, like a real-life gossip rag, but with an extra dose of malice.
Exactly. And these letters didn't just target one or two people. They were sent to hundreds of residents, even businesses, over the course of nearly 20 years.
20 years! That's a long time for someone to keep up that level of, well, harassment.
It is really remarkable and incredibly unsettling. I mean, can you imagine living in a town where you're constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering who is sending these letters and what they'll say next?
I would not sleep. So these letters, what kind of specific things were in them? Were they just spreading rumors, or was there more to it than that?
Well, at first it seemed like someone was just trying to stir up trouble, airing dirty laundry and whatnot. But then the letters started to escalate. They accused people of arson, claimed there were murder plots, and even threatened children.
Oh my gosh, that's taking it to a whole other level.
Right. And despite numerous investigations, handwriting analysis, even a suspect who went to prison while maintaining his innocence, the identity of the Circleville writer was never definitively proven.
So we have one mystery where someone vanishes seemingly into thin air, and another where someone is very much present, at least through these letters, but their identity remains completely unknown. It's like two sides of the same coin.
And that's what makes these unsolved mysteries so fascinating, right? There are these puzzles with missing pieces, and those missing pieces allow our minds to wander, to speculate, to try and fill in the blanks.
It's like they tap into something deep within us, a desire for answers, for closure, for a sense of order in a world that can often feel very chaotic.
Absolutely. We crave narratives, explanations, a way to make sense of the unknown. And when those are absent, it can be both unsettling and completely captivating. And in a way, these mysteries force us to confront the limits of our own understanding.
And maybe, in some small way, they remind us to embrace the mystery, to acknowledge that sometimes the answer isn't as important as the questions we ask along the way.
Well said.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive.
It's been a pleasure. These cases are both disturbing and intriguing.
They really are. And who knows, maybe one day someone listening to this will be the one to finally crack the code. Stranger things have happened.
Never say never.
Right. To all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. We encourage you to do your own research, explore the evidence, and maybe you'll come up with your own theories.
And you never know. Maybe you'll uncover a new piece of the puzzle that everyone else has missed. That's the beauty of a good mystery.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep those thinking caps on.